Hey guys! Happy Thursday. I am bringing you a Thursday video today so we can talk about my Ethereal Garden collection. As you guys know, my KLPolish spring collection has officially launched. Today is the official launch day, but we did have some early access for the box sets on Tuesday. Every time we do a launch, we always kind of launch the bundle first, a couple days before the official launch. So today is the official launch of my Ethereal Garden collection, which is the name of the spring collection if you guys didn't know. And as always, every time we do a launch, I sit down and I talk to you guys about the names, about the colors. I show you guys swatches and we just talk about it, and I upload them on Thursdays or on Tuesdays or during the weekends or whatever, just so that these videos don't interrupt my 3 videos a week schedule. This is always a bonus video I give you guys. If you guys aren't used to these videos, basically I go over everything and I do swatches on my little plastic nails. I do 1 coat and then I do 2 coats just so you can see how it looks with 2 coats. Also, my mom loves to do swatches for you guys. Every time we reveal a color on Instagram, my mom reveals that shade like on her actual nails swatched for you guys. It's like her favorite thing to do for KLPolish now. So I'm gonna be inserting those photos. Let's get into the colors. Let's get into the reason why you're here. The first one is Miss Kensington, and this is a very beautiful mint shade. It's not too minty green. I wanted something that had a little bit more of like a seafoam touch to it, so it has a little bit of both. I love this color. I love it for spring. I just think mint nails for spring is just so beautiful. And when I was coming up with the name of this color, I looked at it and for some reason it reminded me of the dress that Clarice Kensington wore in It Takes Two when Amanda Lemon, well, supposed to be Alyssa Calloway, but it was really Amanda Lemon. When Amanda was playing the piano and it was a hot mess, that green dress that Clarice was wearing, it like reminded me of this. And it's not the exact color at all. It just reminded me of that when I looked at it. And usually I always just go with my gut. Whenever I look at something and I think of the name immediately, that's always what I name it. So I went with Miss Kensington, and I think it's such a pretty name for such a pretty polish. I don't know, I really like this. Next up, we have one of our most unique polishes we've ever created. It's such a hard color for me to describe. It's kind of like a magenta, purple, pink, duochrome, like flip kind of color. I hate to say this because you guys know how I feel about the whole like unicorn trend, but it's a very unicorn nail polish. In the bottle it looks so nice, but when you apply it on your nails and you see it in the sunlight, like under direct sunlight, it looks so magical and beautiful. It is literally the most like ethereal polish ever. I love it. And I was actually having a lot of trouble naming this one. I would just stare at this polish for hours and nothing was coming to my mind. I didn't want to go in like a mermaid direction or like a unicorn direction because I know it's too much already, but I still wanted the name to be a little bit magical. So I asked you guys on Twitter, I'm not sure if you guys even remember this, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, I asked you guys what you pictured a blue, purple, duochrome kind of nail polish to be called. And there was actually a few of you guys who said Charmed. I think like 4 or 5 of you said Charmed, and I thought that was such a great idea, so I went with Charmed. So thank you so much to everyone who participated in that. You always constantly give me amazing ideas for KLPolish, and I thought it was just perfect because I honestly love that show. I don't know if you guys have seen the show Charmed. It's like an old 90s witch show. It was actually the show that I watched non-stop when Danny was on deployment, like on his last deployment. I binged Charmed for months and months. So it's just a show I really love, and I love that this is called that. Okay, so the direction I went with last spring was a little bit different. The colors weren't as pastel, they weren't as Eastery, but for this spring I actually really wanted colors that just screamed Easter. I know not everybody celebrates Easter, but I mean Easter kind of screams spring anyway, so you know, it doesn't really matter. But I wanted Eastery colors and like creamy, yummy pastel shades, and I knew that I needed a bubblegum pink that wasn't too pink, that wasn't too bubblegummy. So it is a little bit more white based than your typical bubblegum pink, but this looks so nice on the nails. It really just makes your nails stand out. If you're a fan of those milky pinks, I think you would really like this. And this one is called Gum Would Be Perfection, which I'm so happy so many of you guys love the name of this one. At first when I named it, I was like, oh my gosh, are people gonna think this name is too long? But I decided to just go with my gut, and I love this name. If you guys have seen the show Friends, if you're a huge Friends fan, then you know exactly where this is from. I had a Friends reference in my last spring collection as well, now that I think about it. But if you guys have ever seen the Blackout episode, I believe it's called The One with the Blackout, Jill Goodacre asks Chandler if he wants gum. At first he says no, and then he says gum would be perfect. It's like a thing, it's like a thing.
You know, on second thought, gum would be perfection.
Gum would be perfection? gum would be perfection. Could have said gum would be nice, could have said I'll have a stick, but no, 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 no. For me, gum is perfection. I loathe myself.
I even have this phrase like written on a shirt, so I knew the second I created a bubblegum pink color that that was gonna be the name. So this is Gum Would Be Perfection, and I freaking love it. Okay, so next up we have the name in the collection. You guys know I make it a point to come out with at least one name in every single collection. I think it's like a fun little game to see whose name comes up next. And I just think it's cool to have a nail polish that's named after your name. Maybe I'm just a weirdo like that, but I think it's cute. And for the spring, we have Selene. And of course, I named this one Selene after my precious little angel, Selene. That's the name of my dog. I felt like I owed it to her because I have a Prince Cornelius and a Porter Miami, and we didn't have any Selene's yet. So for some reason, even though this looks nothing like Selene's hair or like the coat of Selene, I looked at this color and I just wanted to name it Selene. I really, really love this color. I know there are a lot of people out there who don't love yellow polish, but this is a very different yellow polish in my opinion. It's not a creamy white, like baby yellow. It's not a baby yellow at all. It kind of has like a Dijon undertone. It's not really a mustardy undertone, but it's like a dirty light yellow. Man, I don't know how to explain this one at all. This is actually a color that a lot of people look at, like a lot of personal people in my life. They'll look at this and they'll be like, oh, it's not my favorite, but then they'll try it on their nails and they love it. That was the case for my mom, that was the case for Amelia. And you can't really tell so much on the nails, but this has tiny, tiny, tiny little silver micro glitter all throughout it. And in the sunlight, it kind of makes your nails look a little bit shinier than usual, but it's not something that's too noticeable. It definitely looks like a cream once you apply it to your nails, but it does give it a little bit of something, something. I love Selene. It's actually my most worn out of all of them just because I think it's so fun and unique and I wear it all the time. It's just really hard to wear colors when you're trying to keep them secret from your subscribers. It's like every time I would go film a video, I had to take it off and put something you guys have already seen. Sometimes I would just be like, you know what, I'm gonna film with it on, whatever. But it's a challenge to film 3 times a week and also be testing colors nonstop. You guys have no idea what a challenge it is. Okay, so next up is actually my favorite in the entire collection. If I had to choose just one, this is the color I would pick. This is the shade Dream Boy. It is my dream spring nail polish color. If I could have just one color on my nails, like throughout all of spring, it would either be a white or it would be this color. I love how this looks on literally every single skin tone. I mean, all these colors look great on all skin tones, but this one, your skin tone just looks so nice with this. It kind of makes my skin look a little bit more tan than it usually does whenever I wear Dream Boy. I don't know, it really is such a pretty color. It's kind of like a lilac, but it has a little bit of blue to it. Depending on where you're standing in the light, sometimes it looks purple, sometimes it looks blue. It honestly is a light blurple. It's kind of like a periwinkle blurple. Yeah, it's like a periwinkle. Is that what you would call this? I'm gonna go with blurple. It is a beautiful, beautiful creamy finish. There's no shimmer, no glitter. I've gotten a lot of questions about this color and saying that it looks too similar to Hug and Roll, but actually if you put them side by side, Hug and Roll doesn't really look anything like Dream Boy. I mean, they both have a little bit of purple to them, but as you can tell, Dream Boy is a little bit more blue. And just so you guys can see it compared to St. Clair as well. This is St. Clair right here, and this is Dream Boy. As you can see, next to St. Clair, it looks a little bit more purple. So it really does depend. And I actually named this one Dream Boy mainly because I thought the name was cute, like, oh, Dream Boy. But I was listening to the song You're My Dream Boy when I was sitting there trying to figure out the name of this one. Literally, I was listening to it on my headphones and I was like, oh my god, Dream Boy. Do you guys know what song I'm talking about? Let me see if I can find it for you. I was listening to it the other day. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the sheer polish in the collection. I was getting so many questions about this, which is why I love doing these videos, because this is actually sheer on purpose. I was getting so many questions asking like why it wasn't super opaque like the other ones, but I'm not sure if you guys know those type of polishes that are kind of like jelly polishes. They're not a cream finish, but they're not shimmery. They don't have any glitter or anything. They just kind of look a little bit see-through and jelly-like, and I really wanted one for spring. I wanted a polish that you could just throw on your nails, 2 coats, and that you didn't really have to clean up on the edges, you know, something that you didn't have to work too hard with, but that still looked nice and milky and put together. I wanted something that was a little bit like peachy pink, somewhere in between, because I didn't want it to be too pink and I didn't want it to look like peachy. Yes, somewhere in the middle. And this is the color. Like you can see right here next to Gum Would Be Perfection how much more peachy it is. This is like the perfect bride color or an anniversary or something like that. This is such an effortless, easy polish, and it always looks good because it's kind of like a nude, you know, it just like goes with everything, and I love it. I'm actually wearing this on my nails right now. I have it all over all my nails, but on these two nails right here and on these two nails I have Das Esspensive 26 on top of it. This guy right here, this was actually my go-to combo for months, guys. For like the past 2 months, I actually wore it in a few videos. I was very sneaky about it. This is actually my favorite combo ever when it comes to Das Esspensive 26. Like the best polish to put underneath this guy is pinky. They just go together so well, and it creates like honestly like ballerina nails, ballerina fairy magical nails. I swear, I love this combo so much. 2 coats of this, 1 coat of that. But I also love this polish completely on its own, and I actually did not name this one. This is actually the nail polish that Danny named, and it was kind of funny because I was actually going back and forth with the name of this for weeks. This had 87 different names. It was actually named Strawberry Milkshake for a really long time. But then for some reason I kept thinking in my head like, I don't even drink strawberry milkshakes. I don't drink milkshakes. Dairy messes in my stomach. So I don't know why, for that reason, I was just not set on the name. I kept going back and forth, and my KLPolish people were like, dude, you need a name. So I was kind of on a little bit of a time crunch, and honestly I was just so frustrated that I had the nail polishes all like laid out like this. I lifted it, I looked at Danny, and I was like, what do you think of when you see this and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is what I am naming this? No ifs, ands, or buts. What you say next is the name of this polish. And then Danny kind of looked at it and stared at it for a while, and after like a minute he was like, Pinky? And just the way he said it, it was so funny to me. I didn't expect him to say that. I thought he was gonna say something like ludicrous, something insane, but he was like, it kind of looks pinky. Like the most basic name ever, but I thought it was so cute, and that's what I went with. It is kind of pinky, isn't it? It's fitting, I think. So those were the 6 colors from my 2018 Ethereal Garden Spring Collection from KLPolish. It's so amazing to say that. I can't believe this is our 2nd spring launch. It feels like we just launched KLPolish like last week, and we're already on our 2nd spring launch. That is insane. I can't thank you guys enough for the love and support. You guys are always going over to KLPolish, asking questions, leaving comments. Your feedback really means a lot to me. I love how you guys love our customer service. I'm just really grateful that you guys are very patient and very kind, and you guys know that this is like a new thing for me, and it's a very big learning curve, and I'm slowly getting the hang of it. It is a lot harder than I thought it was. It's all so worth it, and I'm so grateful, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I say it all the time, but I'm always praying for you guys and thanking you guys and just being so grateful that I have this community with me. Love my subscribers. You guys are so supportive, especially with one another in the comments, and you're always so kind, so thank you so much. I hope you love this year's spring collection. I cannot wait to rock these colors throughout the whole spring season, and I hope you guys will too. But that completes this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. That is the collection of my spring collection. What?